Gender, in its variety of forms, is hugely significant in determining one's experience within society. Traditional gender roles have continually been perpetuated within Western culture, rendering it increasingly difficult to identify the ways in which men and women are still affected by them within a contemporary Australian society. Australian literature on the topic of gender, particularly those surrounding gender roles, come to many of the same conclusions. The most prominent prove that there are, in fact, distinctions between the sexes which can pose as a hindrance to one's experiences with belonging and negatively affect identity formation. A prominent example of this discrepancy is most visible in the pay gap that exists between those equally as qualified and in the same positions of employment, with the basis of the disparity in incomes related solely to gender. Harmful examples of the constraints of gender can be seen in Channel 10's The Project and in BBC Women.
Women in the Australian workforce earn on average $250 less per week than men. That's partly because more women work part-time, partly because we're overrepresented in low-paying industries, and partly because we do the lion's share of child rearing.
Yeah, I mean, that's not... I remember actually when I was folding up the washing and putting it into 5 piles once, I did think, oh my God, you know, I'll do this and then I'll look round and the laundry basket will be filled again. And I thought, but what's the point of getting upset, cross, angry about it, you know? It's just one of those... Once I kind of got that into my head that, well, this is what I do, then I've sort of stopped
Quantitative data is often very narrowing and doesn't take into account the personal experiences of individuals. However, this type of data is entirely necessary to gauge the general trends and enables us to tailor our qualitative questions. Our research problems are also the fact that gender is not the only factor in one's discrimination or sense of belonging, as issues such as race, ethnicity, and social class also contribute largely to one's experiences within a contemporary Australian landscape. We plan to utilise a mixture of quantitative and qualitative data. Quantitative to gauge an idea of the general trends and to identify outliers, with qualitative to supplement the quantitative trends and to identify reasons and justifications for the outliers' experiences. Quantitative data will likely produce examples which are highly congruent with social trends, such as typical ideas of masculinity and femininity, with the qualitative data supplementing these examples and providing a more in-depth understanding of individual and group experiences.